Here we're going to show you how to fit the Dark Ice Designs bonnet gas strut kit for the Mark 7 Fiesta. The tools you will need is a T30 Torx adjustable spanner, screwdriver, thin flat bladed screwdriver and a 10mm spanner. Using your Torx T30, you're going to undo this bolt here and this bolt here, and then undo this plastic screw here. Unscrew this plastic screw here and lever out this small plastic plug. Just remove the headlight, lift up the clips, slide it around the wing, lift up and manoeuvre away from the wing. You do not need to disconnect the wiring. Identify the two holes in the side of the inner wing. You can see there are two holes here. We need to be using the hole that is closest to the body, the cab of the car. Take the large bracket, fit the M6, bolt, washer and the flange nut on the back. Then we're going to slide this flange nut through the second big hole closest to the cabin, like so. Making sure that the nut hooked onto the edge of the hole. When you come to tighten the bolt, make sure that the bracket is pushed as close to the front of the car as possible, and so the bottom bolt cannot come out of the hole. It is clamped onto the edge of the hole. If the bracket is correctly tightened onto the car, the bottom bolt, the flange nut, is behind one of the edges of the hole, so that when it's tightened up, this cannot move. It cannot move at all. This bracket absolutely tightened. It's tightened either side of this seam here, and it's tightened against the hole at the bottom, so the bracket is completely rigid. It cannot move backwards or forwards. Refit the light, making sure that this slides underneath like so, and at the other edge make sure you push it in behind the wing and down until it clips into place like so. Refit the plastic screw and the two Torx bolts. On the right hand side of the car you have the washer hose. This can be disconnected by pushing the plastic plug in and pushing out like so. Just move it to one side. Fit the ball stud in the hole. You can use the P-clips applied to hold this washer jet hose in. Make sure that the washer is on the nut side and not on the ball stud side, and tighten. Screw on the end fittings to the gas strut, making sure the angled gas strut is on the thicker end of the gas strut body and the straight end is on the thinner side of the gas strut. Once they're screwed on, simply push the end fittings onto the ball stud bracket to engage, just like that, and then connect to the top. You can rotate the gas strut around and push until it clips into place. The gas strut is now fitted. Do the same procedure on the other side. On the left hand side you can see more clearly the two holes on the inner side of the wing. This is the hole closest to the cabin that we need to put the flange nut through. Having the flange nut close to the bracket will help when you're tightening it up. It's usually easier to tighten by hand until the flange nut grips the edge of the hole. Angle the bracket away from the body so that the flange nut contacts the edge of the inner hole, and then tighten by hand. Then you can tighten with a 10mm spanner. You can see when the bottom bolt is properly tightened onto the edge of the hole, the bracket is fairly sturdy without this being tightened. Attach the ball stud onto this hole on the bonnet hinge bracket, making sure the washer is on the nut side. Now you can test the action of the bonnet. The bonnet will require pushing down to approximately here before it will start to shut itself. Some flexing in these brackets is perfectly normal through operation. And there you'll have fitted the Mk7 Fiesta bonnet gas strut kit. If you ever need to remove the gas struts, simply take a small flat bedded screwdriver, slide underneath, lift this clip up, you have to remove it completely, and then simply pull off the gas strut like so.